Good day, everyone. I am Dr. Lucita Adelan, the chairperson of the Department of Hospitality and Tourism Management under the College of Management, Business and Accountancy at Cebu Institute of Technology, University, Philippines. I'm truly grateful for the chance to share my research and insights with all of you today. Matching negative emotions to recovery-focused tourism destinations is the title of my research that explores how different negative emotions influence tourists' preferences for restorative destinations, offering insights to enhance emotionally focused tourism experiences. In today's fast-paced and stress-filled world, tourism has become an essential avenue for emotional restoration and overall well-being. Travelers increasingly seek destinations that help them recover from negative emotions. However, there remains limited research on how specific negative emotions affect the types of destinations individuals choose for recovery. So the statement of the problem. This study aims to examine the relationship between tourists' negative emotions and their preferences for recovery-focused tourism destinations and bridges key gaps by exploring how different negative emotions influence preferences for recovery-focused tourism destinations. For the literature review, according to Young et al. 2023, guide the investigation of how matching the activation level of negative emotions with suitable travel destinations enhances emotional recovery. This concept provides valuable insight into how emotional states can be effectively matched with destination characteristics to enhance psychological well-being and recovery through travel experiences. And according also to Zhu et al. 2024, suggests that emotional responses to travel are influenced by individual perceptions of the destination and travel context. It entails the significance of understanding subjective perceptions in designing destinations that foster positive emotional experiences and well-being. For the methodology, for the research design, utilize a descriptive quantitative research design to investigate the patterns and relationships between tourists' negative emotions and their preferences for recovery-focused destinations. The design enables the collection of quantifiable data to identify patterns, trends, and associations among variables. Through statistical analysis, the study seeks to present an objective understanding of how emotional states influence destination preferences related to psychological recovery. Participants consists of leisure tourists who have traveled or are planning to travel for emotional recovery purposes. These individuals engage in travel as a means to cope with or heal from negative emotions. Their experiences and preferences provide valuable insights into how travel serves as a form of psychological restoration and emotional well-being. A convenient sampling technique was used to select participants from travel agencies, online travel platforms, and tourism forums. This approach allows for efficient data collection from a diverse group of travelers within a limited time frame. A self-administered questionnaire was distributed online to collect data efficiently and conveniently. The questionnaire will be divided into the following sections. First, demographic information captures basic participant details such as age, gender, occupation, and travel frequency. Next, negative emotions identifies the types and intensity of negative emotions experienced by tourists prior to or during travel. Next, destination preferences explores preferred types of destinations chosen for emotional recovery. Then destination attributes assesses specific characteristics of destinations that contribute to recovery, such as tranquility, natural beauty, and accessibility. And the last one, recovery process, examines how travel experiences help alleviate negative emotions and promote psychological well-being. For the results, for the age range, the findings presented that respondents came from various age groups, with those aged 25 to 34 comprising the largest portion, 28% or 85 respondents. The 45 to 54 years old, or 22%, and 55 years old and above, 22% groups followed, indicating strong participation from older adults. The 35 to 44 years old group accounted for 17%, while the 18 to 24 years old group at 11% was the least presented, suggesting lower involvement among younger participants. In summary, the age profile of the respondents revealed that the majority were between 25 to 34 years old, with a significant share of middle-aged and older adults, resulting in a diverse and well-distributed age composition across generation. For the gender, out of 300 respondents, 53.7% were female, or 161 respondents, and 46.3% were male, or 139 respondents, indicating a relatively balanced gender distribution with a slight predominance of female participants. This balance ensured that both male and female perspectives were well presented in the study, while the slight female majority suggested that women's views may have or had a marginally greater influence on the overall findings. For the occupation, the majority of respondents were employed, comprising 78%. 234 out of 300 respondents, which indicated a strong representation of working individuals in the sample. Students and self-employed individuals each accounted for 11%, or 33 respondents each, representing a smaller but notable portion of the population. There were no respondents categorized as unemployed, retired, or others. This distribution suggested that the study primarily reflected the perspectives of employed individuals, with students and self-employed respondents providing additional viewpoints. For the travel frequency, the findings revealed that most respondents, 45.3%, traveled occasionally, about 1 to 2 times, indicating a moderate level of tourism participation. A substantial portion, 36.3%, reported traveling 3 to 5 times, showing a more frequent travel pattern. Meanwhile, 16% were frequent travelers, 6 or more times, suggesting a smaller group with high tourism engagement. Only 2.3% had never traveled, implying that almost all respondents had at least some experience with travel. For the negative emotions experienced by respondents, among the respondents, stress emerged as the most prevalent negative emotion, 42.3% or 127 respondents, followed by burnout, 18.7%, and anxiety, 17.7%. Less common emotions included anger or frustration, got 7.7%, loneliness got 7%, and sadness or grief got 6.7%, while no other emotions were reported. These findings indicated that stress, burnout, and anxiety collectively accounted for nearly 80% of the responses, suggesting that most participants experienced emotional strain associated with excessive demands, fatigue, and uncertainty, factors that likely influence their well-being and decision-making in recovery-focused tourism. For the consideration of travel for emotional recovery, the findings denoted that most respondents viewed travel as a highly effective means of emotional recovery, with 80.7% indicating they were very likely to consider traveling for this purpose. The results highlighted a strong belief in travel's restorative value. Meanwhile, 16.3% were somewhat likely, suggesting moderate but positive receptiveness. Only 3% remained neutral, showing minimal hesitation. Notably, no respondent selected somewhat unlikely or very unlikely, which signified that there was no outright rejection of travel as an option for emotional recovery. Overall, these findings emphasized that travel was universally regarded as a valuable and accepted approach to coping with negative emotions and enhancing well-being. Preferred types of recovery-focused destinations. The results disclosed that nature-based destinations were the most preferred for recovery-focused travel. Mountain or nature getaways, 34.7% rank highest, followed by beach or coastal retreats, 32.7%, indicating that most respondents associated natural settings with emotional restoration. Adventure or outdoor activities got 13.7%, and wellness or spa resorts got 9.3%, also drew interest, reflecting a desire for both active and relaxation-based experiences. In contrast, fewer respondents preferred cultural or historical cities, only got 4%. Rural escapes only got 3.3%, or religious or spiritual retreats only got 2.3%, and non-selected others, confirming that the listed options captured their preferences. Overall, the findings highlighted that mountain and coastal destinations were the most favored recovery options, underscoring the importance of nature and relaxation in promoting emotional well-being. For the preferred types of destinations to relax if you are stressed, the results indicated that respondents preferred peaceful, nature-based environments for stress relief. The quiet beach with minimal crowd for 44% was the top choice, followed by the forest or mountain cabin, got 28%, underscoring the restorative appeal of natural settings. Some favored a small village with a slow-paced life, got 19%, reflecting an interest in simplicity and tranquility, while fewer selected yoga or meditation retreats only got 9%, suggesting a lower preference for structured wellness activities. No respondents choose others, indicating that the provided options effectively captured their preferences. Overall, the findings highlighted that serene natural destinations, particularly beaches and mountains, were perceived as the most effective settings for stress relief and relaxation. For the preferred travel experience, if you are lonely, the findings implied that most respondents preferred socially engaging travel experiences to cope with loneliness. Group tours got 47%, ranked highest, emphasizing the value of shared experiences and social connection, followed by solo travel with social opportunities got 40%, which balance independence with interaction. Fewer choose digital detox retreats got 8%, and volunteering trips only got 4.3%, while none selected others, indicating that the given options effectively captured their preferences. Overall, the results underscored that opportunities for social interaction and connection were the most valued travel experiences for alleviating loneliness. The kind of environment would comfort for sadness or grief. The findings indicated that most respondents found comfort in scenic natural landscapes got 49.7%, such as waterfalls and gardens, underscoring nature's strong healing effect in easing sadness or grief. Creative arts or therapy-based retreats got 27%, were the next preferred option, highlighting the value of self-expression and therapeutic activities. Quite secluded accommodations only got 16%, also appealed to some, suggesting that solitude supported emotional recovery. Fewer respondents choose religious or spiritual sites, only got 7.3%, showing that while spiritual solace was meaningful, it was less preferred than nature and creative outlets. No respondent selected others, indicating that the options sufficiently captured their preferences. Overall, the results emphasized that reconnecting with nature and engaging in creative or therapeutic activities were the most valued approaches for easing sadness or grief. For the conclusion, the study revealed that tourists' destination choices were influenced by their negative emotions. Those seeking emotional recovery preferred tranquil, nature-filled, and socially engaging places. These insights helped guide the tourism industry in developing and promoting destinations that supported mental and emotional well-being. For the practical recommendation, tourism operators can enhance their offerings by incorporating emotional support services. This may include wellness counseling, reflection sessions, or stress management workshops to help guests cope with negative emotions. Offering such services enhances the travel experience and promotes holistic care for travelers seeking emotional recovery. Another practical recommendation, collaborating with mental health experts to develop evidence-based wellness programs can offer tourists a holistic path to emotional recovery. These programs may include mindfulness, stress management, and relaxation techniques based on psychological research. Integrating expert guidance with restorative travel experiences offers tourists a balanced path to emotional recovery and overall well-being. For the summary key takeaway, emotional recovery is shaped not only by the destination, but by the healing power of its environment. By understanding how negative emotions influence travel, the tourism industry can design restorative experiences that renew the mind and spirit. This entails offering wellness activities, nature-based experiences, and spaces for reflection, transforming tourism into a meaningful avenue that nurtures the mind, restores the spirit, and promotes overall well-being. That's it. I would like to conclude my research presentation with an inspiring quote from Saint Augustine. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. Thank you so much for your kind attention, and mabuhay. God bless us all.